Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Daily version of the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Friday, July 5th. Hope you all had a happy 4th of July yesterday. Hope you all, you did your parties, your parades, you're celebrating, your fireworks. Hopefully everyone's safe. Everyone's good. Everyone, acted responsibly and had a good time. We had a good time here. Things are going well. Stephanie, unfortunately, she's in Ecuador, handling some family business that she'll be back on, I believe, Tuesday of next week. Have her mother here help me out with the baby, which is good. It's nice that, it's nice when you have supportive in-laws. My father's here from Sarasota. We're having a good time. So things are going well. It's just, we're a bit all over the place. And, in the middle of summer, especially when you're trying to train for a main event, like I'm looking at, I could probably do the math in my head. I didn't put the sign up, but what's the 5th? So 23 days left until Lake Placid. That's not a lot. And, especially when you consider that I'm expected to start tapering on the 14th. So I only have 9 days of training left. And, we got a lot of stuff going on here with the kids, family, all that stuff. And it's been really hard to kind of focus on my training. But it's the kind of thing that all of us athletes run into, especially if you're a parent and you have to deal with kids and their schedules and all the things that they do, especially when you start the summer and they're out of school and it's camp and it's who's picking up who and where and when and where, it's crazy. So it's like just a new sort of new schedule that you have to get on, a new, routine. And sometimes it's hard to just grab that routine and run with it. For me, I think we talked on Wednesday. And I said I was going to work out on Wednesday and then take the 4th off. And that turned out not to happen. I wound up not working out on Wednesday. And I did an hour bike yesterday, which honestly, I don't feel very good about. The bike itself was good. I felt good doing it. But I didn't feel good that I only spent an hour on the bike and then move on a Thursday. I'm going to give myself a break because the scheduling, like I said, has been a little bit all over the place. But today I'm looking at a lifting session and a run. And it's almost 2:30. It'll be 2:30 by the time I get off of this podcast. And then, I got to go pick up Sam and there's just lots of stuff to do. So I got to get this done. It's a concern for me. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. And, it's just one of those things, where, it is what it is. I can't create more time, right? Don't you wish you could just be like, hey, let's give myself an extra 2 hours today. Just freedom. You can sacrifice sleep, and I've done some of that. But it's not something you really want to do if you can help it, So, I'm hoping to drop a few pounds. My diet's been good. My diet's been excellent the last week. I feel really good about that, So we'll see. We'll see how the next couple weeks shake out. And, it would be nice to kind of return to some sort of semblance of routine. But for now, it's just a little bit crazy, and that's just the way it's going to be. Things I want to talk about today. I really had only one topic on my mind. And I should have more. I do. There's other things I can talk about, but, one of the things that came across the wire that I saw yesterday, and I don't know if it was 2 days ago or yesterday, was, the passing of a guy named, Jared Lorenzen. And I don't know if you guys know, I know if you're a football fan, you'll know who he is, but if you're not, Jared Lorenzen played quarterback for University of Kentucky. He was 38 years old when he died, so that was about, 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago. He played quarterback for Kentucky. Jared Lorenzen was a big dude. He was, over 6 feet tall, but the thing with him that made him different was he was heavy. He was close to 300 pounds. I believe he played at, his playing weight in the NFL was listed as 285, but I think he was probably north of 300. And you think about the kind of person it takes to do that, right? To play at the NFL level, even though he didn't play too much at the NFL level. But think about the athleticism it takes to play a position like quarterback at that weight. And it's incredible. And he set records at Kentucky when he was there. He set passing records there. So he's extremely athletic and gifted, and yet he always had this weight issue that kind of held him back. And in his later years, after he spent a couple years in the NFL, he played in the Arena League, and you may have seen some of the footage of him playing in the Arena League, after the NFL, he just grew even bigger and bigger and bigger. It's tragic. It really is. And then, from reading the article, I believe he was upwards of like 550 pounds at his peak after his playing days. And he tried to rally. And I remember a couple years ago finding something online on YouTube called the Jared Lorenzen Project. And what he was trying to do, I think he had they put together some kind of trailer. They were him and a couple other people doing this documentary, they were going to go around and try. He was trying to lose the weight, get healthy, and work with a trainer, someone who knew what he was doing, get him back healthy, and kind of drive around and spread the word, and hopefully, help some people out there. This was his beast, right? This was his animal, his monster. It was that voice on his shoulder telling him to eat all the time. And I think this story related to me personally because I played quarterback in college. I played for a Division I school called Siena College, which no longer has football, partially because of something I did. Just really which was not play good football, actually. We were bad. We were terrible. We didn't win. We won I think we won 3 games in my 3 years that I played. One of them was by forfeit. So there you go. But, I had a couple good years there. But more importantly, I was 5'9". I played my senior year probably at 205, which isn't tremendous, not 285. But at 5'9", I remember actually when I was in high school and all the recruiting things used to ask me, height and weight. And I'd always write 5'10" because I figured I would grow an inch or two by the time I got to college. I never hit 5'10", never grew another inch or two after I went to college. But, anyway, after my playing days, I got north of 270. I was like 280 at my peak. And really, I've been battling that weight bug for years. It goes up and down and up and down. And, it's one of those things where if I don't actually actively focus and concentrate and have that good frame of mind in terms of diet, I will go off the rails and gain weight. And one of the things that's always helped me has been this sport, the sport of triathlon, the sport of running. In that it matters in the end. It matters to my performance how much I weigh. And it's something that I actively have to monitor and think about almost every day. And we've talked a lot about this over the years. So I understand the battle, I guess. I understand the battle. And I think, and to a large degree, a good portion of what we do here, trying to get people healthy, trying to, have a good support system in our discussion group for people that are experiencing the same troubles. And he wanted to get out there and help people, and he wanted to solve his problem while helping other people solve it as well, which is very familiar to me. And to see him pass away yesterday at the age of 38, and think, man, here's a guy who competed at like the top level of athletes, and ultimately he loses the battle against obesity. And it's just super sad. It's super sad, and it strikes a chord for me because I feel like and I'm not saying we could have done anything for him specifically, but I think that there's a problem here, and I'm going to explain. I think part of the problem is this, and this is part of the problem for me, and this is why I mention it, is we grow up and we're kids. And especially if you're a decent athlete, I think, decent enough to play a college sport, especially, you have this competitive muscle, this competitive fire inside you that is fueled and that burns. It burns especially hot when you're competing in team sports versus other people, and you need to work hard in order to perform better, to get a starting position, to win awards, to win championships, to help your teammates, that kind of thing. There's this competitiveness that you feed through sports. And I think that mentally speaking, we graduate at our last level of sports, and there's nothing that talks you off that ledge. There's nothing that soothes that fall. It is like ripping a tablecloth out from under the dishes. It is, you have this outlet for competitiveness all your life, and then it's one day, gone. And now you're asked to now all that time you spent practicing, now you're at work, you're in an office, you're doing whatever. I mean, this isn't everybody, obviously, but it's a lot of people. And now it's a different kind of competitiveness and something that it's not as straightforward or, and a lot of it's very strange. The dynamic becomes weird because there's no real overlap between, people say that there should be, and I think to a degree there could be, but there's no overlap between athletic competitiveness and business competitiveness. It's very difficult to find that overlap. Enough to feed that competitiveness, that fire that you have inside you that needs to be fed, or, things like depression, obesity, just being sedentary on sitting down all day as opposed to get up and walking around or going to the gym or doing all that stuff. It's a change, a major change in psyche. And all of a sudden that competitiveness isn't fed, and it just is very easy to kind of fall into if I don't need to be athletic, I don't need to go to the gym, I don't need to eat right, I can drink, I don't have to go to practice later, so here, let me have a beer at noon. It's something that I don't know has been studied enough, I think. And I think, I found the sport of running and triathlon, I found it way too late for me. I wish I would have found it when I was 23. I wish I would have done that. I think about how much better I'd be at this stuff, I think about how much stronger I'd be. And, my career would have already peaked. I'd be on the back end now worried about my triathlon career. But then again, you have guys out there riding at, 65, 75, like you should see the age groups that are out there. People out there finishing triathlons, at all ages. I wish I would have found this sport a lot earlier than I did, and I didn't. And I feel like that's the kind of thing, I don't know. And granted, I don't know Jared Lorenzen's situation. I don't know anything specific about it. I don't know him as a person. But I feel like that's the kind of thing that if we could provide some sort of support or some sort of outlet for somebody, especially someone who's susceptible, and certain people genetically, I think, are susceptible to gaining weight and to eating poorly and developing bad habits. We should have a better outlet system for that instead of just, all right, you're done with football and now go do what you sit in front of the TV and eat a thing of Doritos and whatever, and back that up with a pint of Ben & Jerry's and what, and that's it. There's no reason there. It really feels like there's no reason to be athletic in those times. I remember going to night school to get my MBA, and it's like I'd go to work in the morning, go to night school. In the middle, I'd eat and drink and do whatever, enjoy the weekends and never exercise. I remember you buy the gym membership and you don't go for years. Every month I'm paying that bill. And if I showed up at the gym, people would be like, who the hell are you? I don't know, no one would know me. I think that's a major problem. And honestly, it's one of the reasons why I started looking into, coaching. Because I think that that is somewhere where I can help, because I've been through some of that depression, sort of athletic, competitiveness, missing competitiveness kind of thing. And I feel like that's an area where I can be of help. And I thought about, I've thought about a lot of different things, and things that we can roll out. We're actually going to, don't quote me on this, but our next episode is 250, and we may be rolling out some new concepts for ordinary marathoner, which I'm really looking forward to. But don't quote me on that, because that's the next episode. We're on episode 249. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to coach, because I just, and granted, I decided to be a coach before the whole Jared Lorenzen thing, obviously, but, I feel like there's just, you graduate school, and how many athletes, what's the percentage of athletes that go pro? whatever sport, baseball, football, basketball, field hockey, volleyball, whatever it is, whatever it is. What do you have? It's like you graduate and then that's it. It's all gone. And there's nothing that replaces it. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, Jesus, I never thought I could do a marathon. Maybe if someone told me I could, maybe if someone believed in me and said, hey, you know what you could do? Train for a marathon. I mean, I might have rolled my eyes and thought nothing of it, but maybe it would have been the idea would have been planted, and that would have become the goal, I think of things like that. And I think, the great thing about this sport is that it's open to everybody. Really everybody. You shouldn't be embarrassed to start at any point in time. And I think, I don't know, I'm feeling like that's my sweet spot there. And, I definitely can relate to that type of athlete. And there's other athletes, obviously, I can relate to as well. It's not just that type, but keeping that competitive muscle flexing and working, I think it's important. And seeing the sad news about Jared Lorenzen made me think about it a little bit harder yesterday. That's all. With that being said, like I said, my dad's here. I'm gonna cut it short today. We're gonna call it quits. I got to do some working out. I got to lift. I got to run. I got to do all this stuff. But we'll see how things go. See how things shake out. With the things that we have planned. I'm really excited. I got to tell you guys, I do want to apologize that I haven't been on the message board lately. I'm reading a lot of your stuff. I just haven't been participating in it personally. Part of it is I go through these ups and downs with social media, and I'm kind of on a down lately. I just am. I don't know. I'm kind of down on social media. But I'll get back up. I promise I'll get back up, especially as we roll this new chapter out, I think, in Ordinary Marathon. I'm really looking forward to it. You guys will hear more about it. Hopefully episode 250. I don't know that I'm going to get to it because it's a lot of work. And like I said, we got a lot of things going on. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to churn that out on Monday. And have a good weekend, guys. I hope you guys get all your plans done. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. It's just crazy scheduling. I need a long ride. I need a long run. I need I need swimming. I need it all. I don't have time. So we'll see how it all goes. Hope you have a good weekend, though. Remember, every day is an ordinary day. It takes you to make it extraordinary. So get after it, guys.
Remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel.